Have you ever stood near a church late at night and felt like something beneath your feet was listening? Not watching you, not following you, waiting. Because some places don't protect you from evil, some places contain it. And when the ground behind a small, forgotten church was disturbed, just a few feet of dirt turned over, something ancient, deliberate, and very patient was uncovered. A relic never meant to be found, and the moment it was brought into the light, people began to disappear. The church sat on the edge of a dying town, St. Bartholomew's Chapel, built in the late 1800s, surrounded by crooked headstones and trees that leaned inward like eavesdroppers. The kind of place where even during the day, the light felt hesitant. It hadn't held regular services in years, only funerals, only farewells. When a renovation crew was hired to stabilize the collapsing rear wall, they expected old bricks, maybe bones, maybe nothing at all. What they didn't expect was resistance beneath the soil. 3 feet down, the shovels stopped. Buried there was a stone box, no larger than a suitcase, carved from blackened rock that felt strangely warm, even in the cold morning air. There were no hinges, no seams, just symbols etched so deeply into the surface they looked burned rather than carved. One of the workers laughed nervously and said it looked like the devil's lunchbox. No one laughed with him, because at that exact moment, the church bells rang. There was no power running to them. The box was carried inside the chapel for safekeeping, though no one could later explain why that felt like the right decision at the time. Fear has a way of disguising itself as responsibility. The priest, Father Calloway, took one look at the artifact and froze. His hands began to shake. He didn't ask where it came from. He didn't ask who touched it. He only whispered, "That was not meant for us." The symbols covering the stone didn't match any known language. Historians would later describe them as proto-religious markings, older than Christianity, older than organized belief, symbols meant for something far more primitive. But Father Calloway didn't need historians. He recognized them from his dreams. That night, every person who had been near the box dreamt the same thing. A vast field of ash, stretching endlessly in every direction. A church standing without walls or roof, its foundation exposed like a wound. And a voice, low, calm, intimate, whispering names. Their names. Each dream ended the same way, with the sensation of being recognized. Within days, strange things began happening around St. Bartholomew's. Animals refused to cross the church grounds. Dogs whimpered and pulled at their leashes. Birds avoided the steeple entirely, as if the air above it was poisoned. Inside the chapel, candles wouldn't stay lit. Holy water turned cloudy overnight, and the box, no matter where it was placed, was always facing east by morning. People began to change. One of the workers became withdrawn, muttering prayers backwards without realizing it. Another woke up to find the symbols carved into his own arm, his hands sore and bloody, with no memory of how they got there. Father Calloway locked himself inside the church. Neighbors reported chanting late at night. Not loud, not frantic, calm, rhythmic, wrong. When authorities finally forced the doors open, they found the priest kneeling before the stone box. It was open, empty. Father Calloway was alive, but unresponsive. His eyes followed something no one else could see. The only explanation he left behind was written in shaking ink across the altar. It read, "It doesn't curse us, it remembers us." As the investigation continued, sealed church archives were opened, documents untouched for a century, and buried in those records was the truth. The artifact hadn't been discovered behind the church had been built around it. In the late 1800s, something had been uncovered during grave digging. Records described manifestations, possessions, and miracles that bled. The clergy at the time made a choice. They didn't destroy the object, they contained it. They buried it, blessed the ground, built stone and faith over fear, and passed the secret down in silence until the reason was forgotten entirely. There was only one rule left behind: never dig behind the chapel. 3 weeks after the artifact was unearthed, it vanished. No forced entry, no alarms, no witnesses. Along with it, 5 people disappeared. No bodies were found, no signs of struggle, only symbols carved deep into the soil behind the church, fresh, unfinished, waiting. The town emptied soon after. The chapel was condemned. The ground was sealed with concrete and steel. Officially, nothing happened. Unofficially, locals say that on certain nights, when the wind is right and the world feels thin, you can still hear something beneath the earth, not screaming, not begging, counting. The artifact behind St. Bartholomew's taught us something unsettling. Faith can hide fear, tradition can bury truth, and curiosity, no matter how innocent, can be an invitation. Because whatever was inside that box was never destroyed, only delayed, and somewhere it may already be listening again. If you want more stories that follow you into the dark, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay close to Dark Narratives. Until next time, sleep lightly and watch where you dig.